Taken away in zip-tie handcuffs, hundreds of NYPD officers stormed the campus of Columbia University tonight to take control of a building occupied by a group supporting Palestine and protesting the war in Gaza.
Hamilton Hall is now secure. There's no one else left in the building.
Late last night, demonstrators broke windows and chained doors at Hamilton Hall. Tonight, specialized police units crawled through a second-floor window of the building, arresting dozens of protesters and taking them away on NYPD buses.
The leftist lunatic libtards are at it again. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you stopping by. And yo, this is crazy to me that people are going so hard for these other countries when they live in America. They do not go hard for this country like they do for the other ones. And it's so weird how I'm going to show you guys all the hypocrisy right here in mainstream media. And it doesn't matter whether it's Fox News, MSDNC, the Clinton News Network, ABC. It doesn't matter. They all paint narratives that aren't real. So tell me, why is it when a bunch of protesters protest for Donald Trump not being president anymore when they feel like the election was stolen? That's not me saying that the election was stolen. That's me saying that they felt like the election was stolen, right? People felt like the election was stolen, so they protested. They did way less than what these people are doing, but yet the mainstream media isn't covering it the same. They're not saying that the rioters are not saying this, they're not saying that. They're just literally calling them protesters and saying, oh, some of them might get this, might get that. Why is it that Republican protesters for the president of our country, they got thrown in prison for anywhere between, I think I seen 2 to 20 years or something like that. Like the dude from the Proud Boys, I think he got out of jail, and then, don't quote me on this, but I think he went right back in for it. But yo, this is crazy. I want you guys to check this out, right? This is just one of the first, and make sure you guys stick with me because I have a lot of videos in this one, and the last one is going to be an interview with some of the anti-Palestine protesters. They were on the Israel side, and it was just a nice little interview that they did with Fox News. So let's check this out.
Alexis McAdams is with us. Alexis, my understanding is that the police looks like they have everybody under arrest, that they've successfully may not have removed everybody from Hamilton Hall, but they have the situation under control. Is that a fair statement? Because if that's true, in the 2 hours we have been on the air, or the hour and 48 minutes we've been on the air, you know, that would be an amazing accomplishment.
Well, that's exactly what we're told from NYPD sources. I just checked in with them right before this hit. They're telling me that they've cleared every protester out of Hamilton Hall and also cleared the protesters out of the Gaza Solidarity encampment, but they still left those tents there because that's the property now that Columbia will then have to remove. But I'm going to take you this way just a little bit so you can see. I mean, talking about, right, Sean, you said it right, 2 hours or less to move all of this out of here. Well, that's because look at the force they brought in. They had these officers on standby. They closed off this area for several blocks after the university demanded that those kids get out of Hamilton Hall. When the university couldn't do their job, the police had to do it for them. So this is still a live look here at what we're seeing on the Upper West Side at Columbia University. But as of right now, we can tell you that after the university's president called the NYPD asking them to go in and clear out the encampment, clear out that hall, that's what they did. They did it in 2 hours or less. And we're waiting to get more information from the NYPD. They arrested dozens of protesters, I'm told. Don't have an exact number. They're going to book them down at that processing center with the NYPD at their headquarters and get hit with a variety of charges. Some of them might just be for trespassing because some of those kids were expelled or suspended, right, just the other day and came back onto campus. But they also damaged property. You saw it in that video. They smashed through those windows and damaged that property there. So they could be facing more serious charges.
All right, Alexis McAdams, if that is true, all true, in an hour and 52 minutes, the NYPD was able to accomplish this operation. Pretty spectacular and seems so successfully. Stay there. We'll get back to you. Nicole Parker, from a law enforcement standpoint. It's been a very tense night in New York, dozens of arrests, and it looks like the police have now gotten control over all of that. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
So crazy, right? How? Like, what is the purpose of that? I just don't understand it. It really doesn't make sense to me why you guys care so much. And I understand that, you know, you don't want to see genocide, but it's not a genocide because the population in Palestine has been growing over the years. So that's just a false narrative that they throw out to try and to trigger you, to make your emotions go higher and higher. But yo, after that one, let's check this one out.
Then college campuses in crisis across the country tonight as protesters and police face off amid escalating tensions.
The battle between free speech and safety concerns on campus has reached a fever pitch. At Columbia University in New York, police officers in riot gear entered a campus building, arresting dozens of protesters. Back here at UCLA and USC, clashes have broken out between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli demonstrators, prompting increased security and threats of disciplinary action.
We have team coverage of the student protests and the response by schools and the police. John Fenolio is live at UCLA. But we begin with Sandra Mitchell in the KTLA News Center with the latest on the unrest at Columbia University. Sandra.
It certainly appears that order is being restored at Columbia University tonight, but it really was a tense few hours. NYPD says they used flashbang devices to distract the protesters, but no tear gas. Hamilton Hall has been emptied. The encampments that were on that campus also have been cleared of people. Taken away in zip-tie handcuffs, hundreds of NYPD officers stormed the campus of Columbia University tonight to take control of a building occupied by a group supporting Palestine and protesting the war in Gaza.
Hamilton Hall is now secure. There's no one else left in the building.
Late last night, demonstrators broke windows and chained doors at Hamilton Hall. Tonight, specialized police units crawled through a second-floor window of the building, arresting dozens of protesters and taking them away on NYPD buses. Many students frustrated by the distractions and the demands of the demonstrators.
And we're going to make classes go virtual because we're going to accommodate these protesters. And that's basically the message the university has been sending, and it's completely unacceptable.
Free Palestine!
After reports that the protesters were vandalizing the building, NYPD said they responded to the scene at the request of the university. A university spokesman said the protests had escalated to an alarming and untenable situation, and that officials believe the takeover was led by individuals who are not affiliated with the university. CNN obtained video from inside the building, police removing chairs and chains that were used to barricade doors. Students not involved in the protests say they hope the police action tonight will end the disruptions on campus.
The thing about this movement is it's not going away. And so the more you indulge it with negotiations and extra time, the more empowered that they become. You're rewarding their tactics.
NYPD now reporting up to 100 people arrested tonight, and they say those taken into custody could face charges of burglary, trespassing, and criminal mischief. Live in News Center, I'm Sandra Mitchell. Sheriff Micah, back to you.
Sandra, thank you. Meantime,
so at least they actually decided to arrest some of these people, right? You would have thought that they would have just let them keep going and keep going and keep going on the path of destruction. It's so crazy to me, right? I've seen so many different videos of like people like breaking windows, and like when it was on the other side, it was like, hey, these people are rioters, these people are terrorists, these people are national terrorists, threats to America. What are these people threats to then? It just doesn't make sense. Now check this one out.
To see if we have Aaron Katursky available. Aaron, are you with us?
I'm here, Lindsay.
Okay, great. So, Aaron, you just got a letter from Columbia University that it sent to the NYPD. What can you tell us about that?
This is the letter formally authorizing the NYPD to enter campus. As a private institution, the NYPD is not authorized to go on to Columbia's campus without that kind of explicit permission. And once that letter came, that's when the police decided to move in. And specifically, it requests the NYPD presence to remove the occupants from Hamilton Hall and all other encampments that have sprung up on campus associated with this protest. The occupants of the building, the letter says, are some students, but also individuals who are not affiliated with Columbia University. That's the determination the school has made. They said they understood some of the tactics that the NYPD would use to try to clear the building and the encampments. And while the letter does not appear to give a time frame for how long the police can be on campus, it does seem to give them some open-ended room here, Lindsay, to operate until the building is secure and the encampments are gone.
Now, I'm seeing something here, and I'm just wondering if you're seeing and can corroborate this, that the NYPD is allowed to stay until May 17th. Stay on campus until May 17th.
And that would get them through commencement.
That would get, the commencement is on the 15th, correct?
Yeah. And so that has been part of the consideration to make sure that, people who either are concerned about their safety or who are uninvolved in this and want, have the right to be educated and finish that education, that's clearly part of the consideration. And the letter also makes mention that, that they've been trying to negotiate an end to this, the school has, and finally those negotiations just kind of ran out of runway, and it seemed as if this had become a safety concern for the school, and no longer one they could, negotiate an end to.
All right, Aaron Katersky for us. Our thanks to you. And we were.
So I'm just trying to show you guys different perspectives of different things, right? So how the news likes to narrate it, and they like to downplay everything to make it not seem as bad as what it is, right? But then when it comes to the other side, they want to make it seem like it's the worst thing possible. But then when you see the videos, like when Tucker Carlson brought them out, it showed a completely different side, right? So this video is all basically about breaking down the hypocrisy of what these liberals do and what the mainstream media does. I call it the lamestream media, but you know how it is. They finally arrested these people, though. And then I seen a couple of them who stood against it. And this was what I was talking about earlier, right? The people that stood against it. This was the interview that they did, right? So let's check this out.
All right, the generation that came of age during the extended blue state lockdowns, including in New York and the George Floyd riots, is showing us what they've learned. The adults who celebrated the passion of those who spat at the police, tore apart our cities, and ripped down our historical monuments created what we're watching tonight on college campuses.
Guys, my team, come on, link arms.
Remember on the January 6th, smash the window, right? That was a war crime, but they do it here, and it's like, well, do you want another pizza? All right, despite this travesty that we're seeing on campus, there is some hope. Two brave students at Columbia faced off against the angry mob as they tried to break into Hamilton Hall.
Running circle blockade around these three. We're going to move them out. Let's go. Another human chain. People, united. We'll never be. Get someone wrap around. Get inside.
Is someone recording this? Are you recording this? This is 100% assault. What is your name? What is your name?
All right, walk it. Chill. Can you wrap around? One at a time.
Joining me now, Rory Wilson and Charles Beck, the two students you just saw. You guys, first of all, major kudos to you. I don't know whether just to congratulate you or declare you insane for trying to face off against that mob. But Rory, let's start with you. What made you decide to take that stand?
Well, it was pretty much on the spur of the moment. My friends got me out of bed, told me something was happening on campus. I ran over and I saw that it was pretty much chaos. People were smashing in the windows. Massive mob gathered outside of Hamilton Hall, piling up chairs on the inside and that sort of thing. So I wanted, just kind of off the cuff of it, wanted to show that I disapproved of what was going on, that this was completely inappropriate, destroying the property of our university, and that this is not at all the way that we ought to conduct ourselves in any sort of discourse. And so I just wanted to register my protest against their protest. That's what I was telling them when they were yelling at me, and say, I'll protest your protest. I'm free to do that.
Well, Charles, you actually got dragged away, I understand, at one point. Here's what happened. Watch.
You guys are the ones dragging people away.
All right, look, this is assault.
You're shoving me. All right.
So you know, you don't want to
shoving you.
This will ruin your whole life. Oh, sorry, you ruin your whole life.
I'm trying to get him and my other friend out.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to get them out.
Why?
Don't mess with me. Why are you trying to get us out?
Charles, one of your friends said something to you to convince you to move away at that point. What was said?
Yeah, that's a good friend of mine who I've known for quite a couple years. Essentially, he was really just quite scared for my health and safety. He had sort of had a top field vision of it, and he was afraid that if I had remained there, that the crowd would have caused me serious bodily injury, even death. And essentially, what he whispered to me was, well, something along the lines of, "Don't be stupid, don't get martyred for a building." Sort of the idea that perhaps, well, perhaps it wasn't worth getting that injured. But I can certainly see where he was coming from. Perhaps part of the sort of move here was to. I wasn't really thinking, to be entirely honest with you, about my own health and safety. I was more so just thinking of. I don't know, thinking that someone needed to say something. Ideally, someone at our university could sort of say that, well, they didn't agree with what was happening, and they understood it as something fundamentally wrong.
Well, they don't want to debate, Rory. Sorry, Charles, but they don't want to debate. They want their way or the highway. No debate at all. And you guys were, frankly, potential roadkill if you got in the way of that. And you told one of our producers, Rory, that I guess you thought someone might have been following you on your walk home from Hamilton Hall. Is that the case?
Yeah, it's hard to know. There were a lot of shady people going around outside of campus. There were people in the crowd there that I'm not sure if they were students, but definitely on the outside. There was footage of people climbing into our John Jay Hall from outside of campus, all in black. And yeah, there was a car that was full of masked people who seemed to be keeping an eye on us. I'm not entirely sure, but we stayed together as a group with some of our friends to make sure that we got back safely.
Well, I heard both of you had a run-in with this professional protester, this woman, Lisa Fithian. Watch this.
We as students of this university are fully free to stand here in public part of the university.
We have way more of a right. We have way more of a right to do what we're doing than any of these people have to destroy this building.
No one's destroying the building.
I beg to differ. People have broken the windows with the intention of taking this building so that they can take the university hostage. You know what? I'm glad to be here, Rory.
Okay. Rory. Or Charles, I guess now. We're going to talk more about her in a moment, but how did this Lisa introduce herself to you? Did she tell you that she was a protester, Charles?
She claimed that she actually was just there to make sure that no one got hurt, and was just there to ensure that people sort of stayed out of the way who shouldn't have been in the way. She actually tried to sort of present herself as more of a moderating character who was sort of there to just sort of ensure that things were quote unquote safe. She also said that she was, quote unquote, with the university in some capacity, though I had no idea what that meant. Yeah, being honest.
Yeah, so
hey, Rory.
Being with
Rory,
the
university. What's your message to the Board of Trustees tonight? Who could could have shut this thing down a week ago?
My message would be that they just need to get things under control and give graduating seniors their commencement. It really, seniors, people who are seniors right now have gone through a lot in their college career, and so it's the least that they can do to just get things under control and allow people to finish up their college career with an actual graduation.
Rory and Charles, come to me if you need work, because we're always looking for brave students. Fantastic. Good work, and thank you for actually representing normal America.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Man, this was a crazy interview, right? It's weird to me how people care about other countries so much than they do about the country that they live in. I don't see any of these people waving very many American flags. I did see a thing though that they I don't know, was it on this video? I believe it was. Let me see. Where they were holding, no, it wasn't. So there were protesters outside and they were singing the national anthem and holding up the American flag. That's the only flag that really should be waved in this country. Like, I don't understand why people, right, say they come from Palestine or they come from Israel. What's the point of leaving your country and coming to another country and not just embracing that country as your own? Like, these people were getting assaulted and everything. It's just ridiculous to me, right? Look at this. You can't put your hands on people like that. I don't get it. Yeah, you don't put your hands on people, right? That's the whole thing. This is crazy to me. But yo, let me know what you guys think about it. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with me today. Make sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe, smash the notification, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Have a great one. Peace.